Welcome to Democracy 2.0 with Wayne Bouchard and me, Malcolm Berman. And here we talk about everything and anything pertaining to politics and what's happening in the world. Brought to you on, as I say, malcolmpresents.com. And this is a new internet, not part, a Zoomcast. A streaming Zoomcast. It's a new platform, and welcome you guys, and welcome Wayne.
Good afternoon, Malcolm, and good afternoon to the audience as well. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon on a very historic afternoon from the standpoint of democracy and politics. And certainly Democracy 2.0, because today, as most of you already are probably aware, the Senate voted to confirm Judge Jackson to the Supreme Court, and she will be the first Black woman ever appointed to the Supreme Court in the history of our great nation. So it is a historic day, and brings a lot of joy, I'm sure, to a lot of people.
Well, there's a lot of progress as far as the breakdown of the court. Now, I think we have, what, 6 women on there? I heard it was 6, but I'm
not sure. I think it's, let's see. Somewhere here, 3.
Let's see. I get it.
4. 4 women, 5 men.
And they're 2 Black, I think 1 Latina.
And one Latina.
So at least the justice, the Supreme Court is getting, we're not getting more liberal, because I think it's a 6-3 now anyway, even with the new Supreme Court justice.
Correct. She's replacing Justice Breyer,
right,
who will retire in the summer. So Judge Jackson will do very, very little to alter the basic dynamics of the Supreme Court. It will still have a conservative majority.
Well, occasionally John Roberts mixes things up. But still, if he rules in favor of, not the Dems, but the liberals, it's still 5-4.
Correct. He voted in favor of a decision. I think it was yesterday. I think one of the interesting things about Judge Jackson is that the impetus for her getting involved in wanting to be on the Supreme Court and wanting to be an activist started while she was at the Harvard Law School, when someone hung a Confederate flag out of a dorm room window. Mm-hmm. And that happened when she was, I don't even think she was in law school yet. That happened, 30 years ago. But she stands as a role model for a lot of young Black women who are in the legal profession and aspire to, higher standard, not higher standards, but higher levels in the legal profession, other than just being an attorney. Now the way has been paved for other Black women to not only to go on appeals courts, but now, of course, to the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. And, that's a great accomplishment, a great accomplishment for her. And certainly we've made great strides as a nation today to fulfill this promise that Joe Biden made in the heat of the campaign. And he was able to deliver on that promise.
Right. Well, he certainly caught a lot of flack for saying that he would
yes.
nominate a Black woman.
Correct. So the vote today had 3 Republican votes. Senator Romney, Senator Collins, and Senator Murkowski.
Murkowski. And according to Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're all pedophiles.
Yeah, well, that comes from the Republicans' attack on Judge Jackson as being, being soft on child porn and sexual abusers, when in reality, her cases that involved these decisions, were, they match the recommendations by either the prosecutor or the probation office in most cases.
Right.
And her decisions were always in line with what her peers were doing.
Right, a majority of them.
Yeah, and her decision followed guidelines. And listen, if you don't like the laws, it's Congress that makes the laws. I thought it was kind of comical to actually when Mitch McConnell, the minority leader of the Senate, questioned her decision on, she was in favor of packing the court. In other words, adding more justices to the court so that they could get a liberal majority on the court, when in reality, the number of justices on the Supreme Court are not decided by the Supreme Court. It's Congress that makes those decisions.
Right.
So she would have nothing to do with that decision. And McConnell's sole reason for withholding his support was based on that, which is really ridiculous. And you wonder,
what does he know?
You wonder, do these guys really know what the hell's going on? I mean, obviously Marjorie Taylor Greene, she hasn't got a clue as to what the hell.
No, I mean, what she comes out with is almost a joke, but the problem is, or the thing that's not funny, is that a majority of the Republicans support her, plus she was elected.
She was elected, and the people in her district have to make a decision. Do they want to be the laughing stock? What's that other guy's name? The guy from North Carolina in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anyway, I found, in preparing for the vote, I found out some interesting facts about Justice Jackson. She will be the first Supreme Court justice to have ever been a public defender.
Yeah.
To me, that's amazing. I mean, how can some of these, how can you really understand what people go through unless you've been involved in? And obviously public defenders have a firsthand knowledge of people who do not have the economic wherewithal to be able to afford a high-priced attorney.
Right.
And you're stuck with a public defender who's probably got 500 cases. Obviously, she will have an understanding of those people in our political spectrum. It's often been said that, you shouldn't criticize someone until you've walked, a mile in their shoes.
Yeah.
I think it was an old Native American saying, and it was until you've walked a mile in their moccasins.
Their moccasins.
Justice Jackson is also an avid knitter, with the two sticks and the wool.
Oh, that I didn't know.
And she relieves, that's how she relieved her nervous energy, by knitting someone a new pair of socks, which I found to be, kind of interesting, because I happen to be married to somebody who does exactly the same thing.
Ah.
And I have a new scarf. I should have worn the scarf.
So you must have to, in today's world, you must have a lot of socks and scarves. Because it's.
No, I don't have any socks. I tried to get her to darn my socks. Those really good, hiking socks that you wear out in the heel.
Yeah.
and she found me, instead of darning the old socks, she found me some socks on a very prominent outdoor site. I won't give them any free publicity, but it's located in Maine. And they have a brand of socks called Darn Tough. Keying off that word darn. So
I didn't know people darn anymore.
they don't.
I mean, it's more of, I get a hole in my running socks and all of a sudden I have a new pair.
Throw them away and buy a new pair.
Yeah.
It's the American way. We have a what's that called?
Planned obsolescence.
Yeah, replacement society.
Yeah.
We just replace stuff. The other thing that I found out about Justice Jackson is that she is actually related by marriage to former House Speaker Paul Ryan.
Oh, that I didn't realize either.
So that was kind of interesting. So, he's part of her family. Interesting.
Yeah. It was especially.
They should have some great conversations over Christmas dinner.
Especially that they're different philosophies.
Yeah, I would think so. So now we have the first Black woman on the Supreme Court. And, as I said earlier, unfortunately, I think she is going to spend an awful lot of time learning the court and not having any really any significant effect on the outcome of any major decisions due to the makeup of the existing Supreme Court.
Well, hopefully, again, what disproved this nomination or this election was that it is so politicalized. It's no longer, the question that they asked her and their attitude, it's no longer, is she qualified? Is she qualified? What does she believe in? Okay, if you're pro-life or they try to prejudge you on how you're going to vote on the cases. It's all politicized. Like with the vote was 53-4, and basically all Democrats voted for, and all the with 3 Republicans. The rest of the Republicans voted against. Why is she not qualified? Of course she's qualified.
I think the American Bar Association gave her 100%.
Yeah.
In her
and for the 2 other judgeships she had, the federal judge, she was I think like 99-1 or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, because she's up in the Supreme Court, she's not qualified. That's bull.
Well, yeah. As we know, there's politics that enters into everything, and our voting systems today are not our voting system, our political system is just broken. It's just not functioning on a plane that lends itself to democracy. And as we spoke about it last week, the old-fashioned compromise, you take care of me on this vote and I'll take care of you on that vote, and you can, if you vote for my bridge over the Hudson River, I will vote for your reservoir in Ohio. And that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
Nobody votes for anybody else's projects. There's none of that. And every bill is there's no specific bills like that anymore. They just lump everything all in one big bill and say this is an infrastructure bill, or this is Build Back America bill.
Well, that's why they include all those little legislations that's part of the big bill, because they want the big bill passed, and the little aspects of the bill they don't pay attention to. But this is what people are voting for in actuality.
Yeah.
I think what's called the old days pork barrel.
Yes. And you know, we all worked very hard to get rid of that, and maybe it would be a welcome blessing to have it back again.
But I tell you that this is what I'm more thinking about. They always say that democracy was an experiment. Will it work? I'm not sure whether at this point in time it does work. But I'm not sure how to replace it.
What comes after democracy?
Anarchy.
Well, I don't know. Can we take the basic fundamental concepts of democracy and tweak them into, you know, something a little bit more workable and a little bit more progressive, a little bit more enlightened? You know, that's why we're here with this title, Democracy 2.0. It needs a few adjustments, a few fixes.
Right. Well, like I tell you, in certain ways, I'm an elitist. You know, I don't think that if you let the public vote on everything, you'd get the type of legislation you wanted. Because people are basically selfish. They're selfish. They're prejudiced.
And I asked you this question last week, Malcolm. Who gets to make those decisions?
I do.
I
No,
can't
no,
buy into that.
Well, as I say, if I forgot, I think it was Plato. If kings can't become philosophers, philosophers should be kings.
Mm-hmm.
Or benevolent dictatorships.
Right. Let's switch topics here and talk about something that is very disturbing, and that is, you know, the turn of events in Ukraine this week, and we've had some issues of potential war crimes.
Potential.
But, well, you know, they have to be documented. It appears as though the Russian army has committed some serious war crimes. And of course, you know, Putin is ultimately responsible for those crimes. But, you know, and here's the but, you know, litigating war crimes is a long, drawn out process. You know, they have cordoned off that one suburb of Kiev, Baca, so that they can document all this. You know, the litigation is going to take years, so we're not going to have a decision next week on war crimes. You know, and looking at this thing, you know, after 6 weeks, this war, you know, time is not on the Ukrainian side at this point.
No.
Certainly, it's the enemy of Ukraine, and you know, I think that we have to do something different than what we're doing. You know, the European Union needs to take a stand on Russian oil and gas, you know, because that's financing the war. Those countries are still importing Russian oil and Russian gas. And I think our House of Representatives voted this afternoon to get rid of all Russian oil, gas, and coal, because that's what's financing the war. I mean, without the influx of dollars, US dollars for oil and gas, and it's not just the Europeans pay in US dollars. They convert their currency to US dollars and they pay the Russians in US dollars. That's what's financing this war. And it's time that the US and all of its allies put an end to financing the war. You know, we have to put an end to this senseless killing. I mean, they are just bombing Ukraine back into the Stone Age.
Yeah,
what do we do?
They're bombing the civilians. It's not the armies.
It's everything. You know, those towns are just leveled. And
well, some people in the Europeans, they vote by the pocketbook, because the problem is you cut off the gas, everything is going to go up. All prices are going to go up in Europe.
You know, I think the world made the same mistake with Hitler many years ago. We figured he just invaded Poland. Let him go, let him go, let him go. He won't hurt us. He won't hurt us. And then when he's knocking on your door, what do?
Yeah. That was what, Neville Chamberlain?
Yeah, and the U.S. government didn't get involved either. Can't blame it all on Chamberlain, although Chamberlain was duped for sure.
Well, at that time it was, gee, that's over the Atlantic Ocean. It doesn't affect us. Why are we getting involved? The only ones that really getting back to the only ones that really are suffering aside from the European was the Jews. And let Hitler do it. It's none of our business.
Yeah, and that's terrible crimes were committed.
Yeah, and then that's still with Ukraine. I mean, people are saying, why are we getting involved with Ukraine? Why are they so important to us? How is that going to change our lives? Aside from the fact that once the Ukraine is gone, then I don't know. Then comes Poland. That's right. That's when we get involved with what is it? Statute 5.
Yes.
From NATO.
Yes.
You attack one country, it's like you attack all countries.
Correct. But also, this is an interesting study because we shouldn't be surprised at what the Russian army is doing and what Putin is doing, because he's already done this once before, and he's done it in Syria, and nobody seemed to care, or they cared, but they didn't seem to raise as much of a fuss as they're doing now. So I think Putin felt like he could just go in there and do it again, and nobody would care.
Yeah, I think
maybe he'd get a little slap on the wrist, and everybody would forget about it, just the way they forgot about Syria, and he could have what he wants, which is we're not exactly sure what he wants, but
like he did with Crimea.
What's his end game?
Well, supposedly his end game is to reestablish the Soviet Union, the USSR.
I think he wants to reestablish himself as the ultimate czar of the Russian Empire. He doesn't want to do anything with the Soviet Union.
The new Stalin. The new Stalin.
Right. And we continue to send money and weapons over there. Does that clear our conscience for our moral obligation to people being innocent people, innocent children? It just breaks my heart to see some of these scenes that you see on the nightly news. Can all the money that we have and all the weapons that we send them, can that buy back our soul? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves.
Yeah, well, I want to see what happens with all these right-wing politicians that are at this point anti-immigration. As soon as the Ukraine refugees start coming into this country, which they are starting from the Mexican border.
Yes.
I want to see how this. I want to see if they open their arms to let them in.
Well, I think the governor of Texas said he was going to put them all on a chartered bus and send them up here.
Was that the Ukrainian people, or that was just the?
I don't know. People? I don't know, but I'm going to criticize him anyway.
Which he needs criticizing.
Yes.
But I mean, all over the world, I was just reading an article of in Ethiopia with ethnic cleansing, the tribes that they are trying to kill. In China, the group that the Chinese are trying to reestablish or are trying to get rid of. It's amazing.
I think those are Muslim people.
Yeah.
And we kill off more people in the name of religion in this world than for any other reason.
Right. I don't think religion is bad. I think the structure of religion, the structure of religion is bad.
How do you correct the structure of the religion?
Well, you don't. But as we talked in an earlier show, if people believed in Jesus Christ, if they just read what he said, the world would be a much better place.
Yes.
And they wouldn't be kicking immigrants out, because you have to welcome them.
Yes. With
People
open
pour
arms and feed them.
Yeah. But people that say, oh yeah, we're the religious right, but they're really not the religious right. They're only they only do what's good for them, not that, as I say, not the teaching of Jesus.
It comes down, Malcolm, simply to this. If you are a white male of European ancestry, you're our friend. If you don't fall into that category, old white male from European ancestry, you have to be an old, you have to be an old guy too. If you don't fall into that category, they don't want to have anything to do with it.
But also to a Christian to boot. Because it doesn't apply to, I don't know if Muslims are considered white.
I forgot that part. I'm sorry. I forgot that part. Old white Christian European ancestry.
Okay.
There you go. That's it. With that, we should end the show.
No, we still have 5 minutes to go. Oh,
really? I don't have anything else to say.
On a lighter vein, are you into golf at all?
I am an avid golfer, and today was a delight to see Tiger Woods back on the golf course again. And I think he's 1 under, and I think the leader is 3 or 4 under.
Yeah. Well,
so it's not like it's not like he's way down the list.
He was on the 17th hole, and he was -1. But that is truly amazing, because 13 months ago, when he had a car accident, he almost, well, number one, lost his life, and they almost had his leg amputated.
Correct.
And now at the age of 46, he's back at the Masters tournament.
It's amazing. It is
in the top 10.
The thing is, and I don't know if you're a golfer, Malcolm, but the PGA has certain rules about walking the golf course, but they have made made exceptions to that rule, and there's no question that he couldn't petition the PGA and get a waiver and be able to ride around in a golf cart. No question. But he won't do it. He will not do it. If he can't walk and play like a regular golfer, he's not going to do it.
Well, a number of years ago, I forget the name of the pro that petitioned, and he was going around in a cart, but I haven't seen him play since. I forget that.
John Daly.
Who?
John Daly was his name.
Oh, no. Was it John Daly? No, there was somebody else maybe before him. I know who John Daly is. He used to do What's My Line? No, he was a great golfer, but he was also a clown. Very, very entertaining.
Who?
John Daly.
Well, John Daly had some problems with various different substances.
Well, he liked drinking and he liked smoking. I know that. But
I wasn't, Malcolm, I wasn't going to name the substances. I was trying to be very dramatic about that.
But and today everything is public. Everything is common knowledge.
Yes.
There ain't no secrets anymore.
I am certainly glad that I went through my rambunctious years of, let's say, 14 through 32 without someone chasing me around with an iPhone, taking pictures of me and videos and documenting everything I did.
Well, and now that you're on the internet, you might have TMZ hounding you. They might be pounding on your door to see the truth behind Wayne.
Oh, good God! Nobody wants to see that.
What is he hiding in his background? To be announced.
Yes.
Anyway, it should be interesting what Tiger does. As a matter of fact, when he was practicing on Monday, he had a bigger crowd than most any golfer ever has.
Can you just imagine the executives at the network that's carrying this? Again, I don't want to say the network because I don't want to give them a free plug.
Well, why not?
CBS, they must have just been on cloud nine. When he decided.
It's ESPN. I'm not sure whether they had the finals or not.
No, CBS has the finals.
Oh, okay.
CBS has the finals. And the other interesting thing about Tiger is that because of his legs, he's not wearing the brand of golf shoes that he's paid millions of dollars to wear their clothes.
Mhm.
The one with the little swoosh.
Yeah, not giving anyone a free plug, but the Nikes, you mean?
Yeah, right. The Nikes. He's not wearing Nike golf shoes because they don't have enough support.
I'm wondering if his son, they pay him to sponsor the show. To pay him to sponsor Nike, to wear Nikes.
Did you see him yesterday or Wednesday?
No, I didn't see him Wednesday, but I saw him a few weeks or a few months ago where he played. He played with this Tiger, and they have exactly the same swing, exactly the same body stance.
And Charlie was dressed exactly like Tiger.
Yeah, he looked like
same hat, same shirt, same pants, same
same
shoe.
movement. The same way he leaned on his golf club.
It's just a little Tiger.
Anyway, under that note, now we can go.
Okay.
So I will see you next week.
It was a pleasure, Malcolm.
Keep up on the news.
I will check out this guy in Los Angeles.
Sounds good. I'll speak to you later, kid.
All right,
Bye.
take care.